Hello there. How are you? I'm fine. Yeah, doing okay, pretty good. Yeah. It's only 1 week left. I'm living in this shithole, but I have been spending a few nights away experimenting with the new lifestyle, and I'll work it out as I go along. I like to think I'm one of those rare people that when I say I'm going to do something, you can pretty much take that to the bank. So I'll tell you something else as well that you can take to the bank. And that is that I will absolutely give my heart, my soul, and everything that I have into the pursuit of the Hermetic way of life, to Hermetic attainment, for I truly believe that it reflects the perennial tradition. And I'm a very lucky boy, you know. I'll be honest with you, some of those older videos, they're great, I like them, but, you know, there might have been a couple of things that I said in, you know, cute ignorance. And trouble is, you know, you have to maintain a massive amount of respect and secrecy in these matters. In fact, there is a few words in initiation into Hermetics, whereupon it is expressed that one should pretty much shut up, and that's kind of true, but it goes on to say that you should always talk with those who are, you know, I'm paraphrasing, of course, you know, sincere seekers. I could get the book out and look it up right now, but we get there this way. It's fine. It's no big deal. I'll be honest with you, I am so busy. I have been so busy all the time. I've known levels of tiredness which are inhuman. I've known levels of energy and exhilaration which I didn't think possible. I've been good, I've been naughty, I've been pondering survival with a very positive outlook. I've lost control, I've gained control. It's been a roller coaster. But in terms of talking about these things in this process, I believe that anyone that subscribes to this channel is a sincere seeker, and there won't be any contact or dialogue between us in the comments anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And anyone who doesn't have belief, anyone whose mind stuff is kind of, you know, acerbic and confrontational, it just won't matter, will it? Because they're not going to hang around, you know. Why would they waste their time, you know? I'm not being rude, I'm just talking about, you know, atheists, skeptics, you know, people who are, you know, believe themselves to be very much down to earth and, you know, don't believe in all that woo-woo crap and, you know, all that kind of thing, which, you know, there is a certain you can go a certain way with these people because of all the bullshit out there. And it's funny how instinct guides you over so many years, and fate is a funny thing. One thing leads to another. The threads of the weird lead you into different situations, people, places, and some very dark places, actually. Some very testing times. And it's not as if that's... Actually, I'll rephrase what I was about to say. The future presents a very real challenge, but I'm very excited about that challenge. And it will soon be Halloween, So that will be 1 year of the Broderick Wallace channel. And it's been quite a journey. You know, there's been so many times that I could have and probably should have switched the camera on and talked about this and that, but it's just, would have been too much, you know. And sometimes I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do. I have to be very careful about what I say, and you know, I take that responsibility very seriously. Over the years, there will be so much that I cannot talk about. Yet, at the same time, related, but, you know, off to the side, there will be many things that I would love to share and explore. And, you know, it's a very, 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 very peculiar thing to think that anytime you try to think about origins, you can always push it further back, right? You think, oh, this happened, that, oh, but that wouldn't have happened if this wouldn't have happened. But there is a very, very strong contender for the origin of the bulk of the journey that has begun. And I'm not talking about all those years, you know, loving this and loving that and all these strange experiences, etc., all that kind of thing. I'm talking about the point where things really began in earnest. I'm talking about making that decision based on instinct and pure happenstance, but not really, based on a dream that my ex-wife had. You know, if my ex-wife hadn't had what? My ex-wife didn't have that dream about the young woman in white. Would any of this have happened? It's very, very difficult to work that out. You see, because I'm stuck with this notion of a, excuse my language, fucking oil cap. What? You thinking? Oil? Yes, an oil cap. You see, if I hadn't have lost the oil cap on my old car, you know, casually filling up the oil and forgetting to screw the cap back on, leaving it on top of the air pump machine at the garage and driving off, and then my engine gradually dying over the next few weeks as I didn't realise the oil was leaking out, which led me to about 3 months where I was out of work because the car had broken down and I was waiting for some money to come through before I could buy a new vehicle. And in that time I produced a lot of art, and perhaps that period of time alone, which was before the lockdown crap, you know, it was a foreshadowing. It was a foreshadowing, and I regret to say that I've thought about this a lot, and it breaks my heart, you know, because there was and still is something that I wasn't able to do, someone that I wasn't able to see. I said, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and then the world closed down 3 days later, and it's still closed down. That's been the hardest thing of all, really. A dream from my ex-wife about a girl in white, a woman in white. petrol cap mislaid, left behind. 7 works of art created, and someone's attention stirred. An opportunity manifested. There is also a bench. A bench that if I hadn't have sat on that bench when I was, God knows, about 15 or something, I wouldn't have come across a guy who told me about another guy who also plays guitar, who became my best friend for many years, and who popped round and said one day, let's go out for a beer. And we went out for a beer, and I met my ex-wife. You see, you can keep pushing these things back. I sat down on that bench just a few weeks ago. I couldn't believe just everything that unfolded upon, that decision as a 15-year-old boy to sit on that bench. Just that chance encounter with a certain bod, Could it have happened any other way? Perhaps not. Can the details change, but we still end up arriving where we were meant to arrive, and were we meant to arrive there? And if we have such faith in fate, then can we afford to be risque and blasé? And the answer is no. It's best not to ponder these things too deeply while you're still very much caught up in them, but to push forward ahead with confidence and bravery, to believe. I bid you